Welcome back to the Molybdenum Software Show. By the way, did you see our new generated logo on our YouTube?
Right.
I used Grok to make it. You looking for it?
Get there. Okay. It looks cool. Nice blue colors.
I think it's better than before. It's nice to have
I
something.
don't remember what it was, so I'll believe you on that. Cool.
I started playing with Hyperland.
That's a window manager for Wayland?
Yes.
Okay.
I looked at my options. I saw I'm currently using Sway, and I heard this story about the author or the maintainer of Sway going kooky and posting something about encouraging people to sabotage things, infrastructure, wherever they may be. I don't know, something strange. But that's kind of beside the point. It's just an anecdote. I wanted
Not good
to.
marketing for your project. Jeez.
If you're marketing to cookies, then you want to be the kookiest of them all.
I guess. Just
But
like
I don't know the facts about
specifically
this.
somebody who builds, maintains the software that I run on my laptop. Now I want them encouraging people to sabotage things.
Yeah, very much so. Open source, if there's any suspicion of someone being not trustworthy in open source, then they are probably immediately shunned.
Right.
So I want something a bit nicer than Sway, so that it has animations and more features, such as being able to like group some windows and then to like title those groups. So I have visual. This group is so I have tabs, and this tab has a name. Because I get lost. I make one, I make two groups, I make three groups, and then like I know I have this, that, and the other thing, but I'm not necessarily sure which is which. So it's I think what Hyperland has some more features, and it's pluggable. So maybe if there isn't one,
you can build
plug in. Also wanted something ideally in Rust, because I'm such a fanboy. But there does seem to be a project that aims to be that. It's called Pinnacle. But it's not there yet. So
what's the plugin system? Some scripting language, or the language that the thing's written in?
In Hyperland, I don't know. But Pinnacle is Lua.
A Rust project that embeds a Lua interpreter?
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
So I kind of did Home Manager Hyperland enable true. It's actually not that the real path is like something like Wayland Window Manager Hyperland enable true. And then I got it running, and it even had my banana pointer cursor.
Very nice.
Seems like that's kind of works in different window managers. but so it unlike Sway, Hyperland, if the configuration file is empty, then it really is empty. It's like you don't get anything. You don't get any key bindings at all.
Useful. Okay.
Which is nice after everything's configured. But it's not very nice to begin with, especially since I'm doing everything via Home Manager. So it means I'm doing everything with Nix. So I cannot just take from the wiki, copy paste.
Right. Yeah, you gotta convert it into Nix.
Yes, but I did ask Grok to make me one, and it did make me one. And it was even not bad. It was these things that seem to be repeating themselves, like switch to workspace 1 through 9 or so. It actually did that programmatically in Nix with gen adders.
Very nice.
Because I guess there are people who've been using Hyperland via Home Manager, and so I will perhaps this evening I will continue more.
Okay, but we're going to be seeing Sway right now.
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing to see yet.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Make it nice and warm for me when I eventually switch over from X. I need somewhere to go. So figure out all the things for me so I don't have to.
That's what we do. We know what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's
we are
docs,
going to take a look.
Until we think
but
of
more
something
specifically, no more new things. New things need to be greatly how do you say justified convincingly, compellingly. I suggest that we start with replacing first, picking one, looking through the different projects to it, and then picking one and replacing the NixOS options manual first. That will be even its own change that could be merged.
Mhm.
And then we could figure out how to
that sounds good.
Do the duplicate single source of truth. We have a single source of truth, but it's in Rust instead of Nix. We wanted in Nix to move that single source.
Yep. Sounds good.
So which pick one? Pick
what?
NixVim, Fed parts.
Yeah, I mean those are the two I'm familiar with. So
let's see how NixVim does it.
Sure.
Okay. So here's where I make another tab, but you see, they're not titled. It's like I don't care that there's an Alacrity, a Neophyte, and a Qt browser here.
Mhm.
There's another problem currently with this color scheme implementation, which is, you can see, I know that I just created this Zersh and it's inside this group, but there's nothing to indicate that.
Yep. I cannot tell that.
And that's it's actually a downgrade from Capuchin.
I see.
There used to be. I'm not going to bother with it though. I'm going to plow on with Hyperland.
Cool.
So do I have an Xvim? I don't. Do I have clone? It's Nix community. I do. Okay. Let's add just a generic one. And take a look inside. Let's fetch this. And what I do now in these, I never check out, I never switch and check out to main or to master. I do check out, detach, upstream head, which may be master, maybe main. And then I can, from any other work tree, I can, when I want to, I can check out main.
Right. So long as you haven't done that in 2 work trees.
Yeah, so I guess I just don't do that in any of them. It's like main isn't like a no go. But it's completely equivalent in terms of the working tree to do this. Except that it doesn't show that this happens to be main or upstream main.
Okay.
But it does say head. So where do you think we will find what we're looking for?
I mean, we got to find the entry point to this. Nix Lake
Docs.
Show or contributing.md might be good places to start.
Here's default.
Okay.
What does this look like? It receives, I think it's like some explicit call, explicitly called thing, because system Nix packages and Nactos search don't seem to be in any particular set that I know of. But let's take a look at contributing, like you said. Submitting architecture, declaring plugins, plugin options. I don't see anything about
No, I agree.
Next, didn't mean to do that. Next Flake Show. Let's go to the Flake Nix. Be something like docs, manual.
And then the other place to look would be like the .github folder and see if there's a workflow for building docs.
Right. Let me go to Flake modules. Default. Probably import a whole bunch of things. One of them is not doc, not maybe packages.
Maybe. Yeah.
There it is.
Packages equals import docs.
And then these 2, 3 that. Okay, so it's confirmed. It looks like docs default. Where I want to go.
This must define multiple packages or an adder set. Like what's getting returned here must be an adder set, right? Okay.
Yes, search and docs.
Great.
Docs is the call packages and the book. So, MD book is the program that generates the docs. It has 307 contributors. It's written in Rust. It has some JavaScript, CSS, and handlebars in it. It has its own MD book. And this is very familiar. Seems like no one changes the color scheme ever.
Good.
Good. But there is more here. It's navy. Okay, we have some progress. We found out some things. Over to you.
There we go. All right.
MD book.
Nixbuild.hash docs.
But MD book knows nothing about Nix module system, so there must be something that takes in some Nix code, takes in like what that evaluates, performs an evaluation, and then looks at the options,
Mm-hmm.
and then outputs something that MD book understands.
All right.
So let's continue from that docs default and go to the end of it. And there's this MD book evaled modules. That confirms my theory, right?
Yep.
So eval nixvim is just a specialized like eval modules helper, I would assume. You know eval modules?
Eval modules, the entry point into the Nix packages module system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is probably just a helper for that. And there is a module that sets a value for is docs equals true.
Yep. Which is interesting. Do we see that documented?
Documented where?
Because it's an option, right?
It would be hidden. It would be a hidden.
Internal equals true.
Visible.
Yep.
False. No, it's a visible.
Internal equals true. Visible equals false. This is used here in top level files default.nix. And I don't understand the comment. File module type. But maybe we don't need to understand this. I was curious, but the answer is not immediately jumping out at me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we haven't evaluated something or other. And
that's what's called a I don't know what it's called actually, but it's the return value from.
Yeah, it's a thing
I
that
think
has
it's
a config
evaluation.
attribute, right?
Yes.
It's a thing that has a config attribute and other things that I've never looked at.
Yeah, I think it's called an evaluation because we cannot call it a configuration because it has a config attribute. That's the configuration. It's an evaluation.
Makes sense.
So where I wonder what like the search is also some kind of an pre-evaluated indexy thing.
Yep, and it's overridable with some href stuff. Presumably it has, links inside of it.
I think we don't need the search.
Yeah. Okay, so here it is. No helper here. This is just raw Nix. Make derivation. Name. Nice. Inputs. MD book. Alerts and page TOC. Fun little example of the file set library there.
Alerts is it's like the GitHub equivalent, GitHub flavored Markdown. Like you can warning, caution, note.
Oh, okay.
That's what I guess it is.
Got it. Neat. Cool. And then build phase is where. Okay, let's see how contributing gets used. So, pass through fixed links, contributing.md.
Sorry, I lost the position where we are. I see. So this is inside the.
We're in derivation. The handwritten derivation to build the docs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
I see
it's not there's not a lot of abstraction between us and like actually invoking MD book somewhere. There it is, MD book build in the build phase.
Right. So okay. So we don't need to read all this at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can like use it for inspiration.
And I would like to see Stylix next, because that's a project that has been receiving lots of love recently.
Stylix?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy. I don't suppose you hear that, do you?
I do hear that. It's not distracting. It's probably more distracting for you.
I hope it doesn't last long.
No workflows. How's this thing build for the Nix community?
Maybe it has .yml. Still alternative, right?
Good call. Backport? Nope. Check. Nope. Docs.yaml. There we go. Nix build. Okay, so it's also got a docs output.
Yeah.
And is this thing Flake parts? Yes, it is. Flake default. Doc. Nope. Packages. Doc. There it is. All package.
Isn't this kind of a misunderstanding, like a suboptimal utilization of the of Flake parts to have categorize it this way? Packages. It's like very different from what you and I have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed exploring what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has an academic purity to it, but I don't know that we've reaped the rewards of doing it that way yet. So, and like, there's certainly value to people writing code in ways that like doesn't surprise them. So I don't. Yeah, if this is like what people tend to do with Flake parts, that would be interesting. I haven't like seen a lot of usage of it, but this does seem to show at least a similar pattern here between Stylix and Nixvim.
Yes, it's called cargo culting.
I wouldn't call it cargo culting. Cargo culting. I mean, I guess. Maybe. Like the original definition of the word, which is building propeller planes out of sticks, which does you no good whatsoever.
No good, but yeah.
But I think today, cargo culting in a programming context, you get stuff done, but you maybe don't appreciate what you could be doing instead, or why you're even doing it the way you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But self, what is that? That's just a way of referring to the root of the project.
Yeah.
That's a neat trick, as opposed to doing dots based on how deep you are.
Yes.
Today I learned. doc/default.nix. Okay, got a big let block. Very big let block. Still in the let block.
Wow, this has more, huh?
Or I misread this, but I'm just trying. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Plain old make derivation, patch phase, build phase. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like the same basic idea, right? Again, no abstraction here, just a lot of Nix massaging, and then you invoke a markdown book. So, if I squint my eyes, these look like the same pattern. Where's the content?
Yes, where are the options?
The options for like Markdown book?
The Stylix Home Manager and NixOS options. There's also Nix Android.
Probably like one of these
How are they
things.
passed to MDB?
I mean, it must be that stuff ends up in the src directory, right? So it's got to be one of these 5 things, 6 things. It's not these. It's probably not this. It's probably this right pages.
Can you see that value, the expression? Lib concat lines, map adders to list, rendered pages. Let's look at rendered pages.
What about rendered pages? Sorry, you want to see
Let's
that?
see the expression for that. Yes. Okay.
Map render page over index. Index is folder. Insert platform, built-in adder names platforms.
Yeah,
Oh
because
boy.
the Stylix provides options for Home Manager, NixOS, and Nix Android.
Those are different platforms.
Yes.
Okay. Reasonable.
But
Oh my. Somebody parsing Markdown with Nix. We've been there, huh?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is operating on top of platforms. Then here's probably where these look like options, right? Option adder set to doc list.
Oh, then platforms have the option.
Is this a built-in from Nix packages? Right here?
Sure.
Look at that. Does this show up in NixVim? Does not. Interesting. Okay, so there are different ways of doing this.
See what platforms is? You should have go to definition, no?
Probably. I'll try it next. Right here. Yep, that worked.
Yeah. Home configuration. Home manager configuration. Yes, that makes sense. In the case of NixVim, it uses its own helper. This is Home Manager eval modules helper.
Mm-hmm.
And NixOS, it uses NixOS system provided by the Flake, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, seems reasonable.
I would be interested in understanding what is it that this helper that we just saw in Nogle does, because this seems to have less implementation with regards to the primary workload.
Generate documentation template from the list of option declaration, like the set generated with filter option sets. Okay. This is basically like passing an empty array here, which is this first argument, which isn't even used. Huh. Defined infinite recursion. Okay, good to know.
That's just a trace. The kind of technique to find infinite recursion is not programmatic. It's just to trace the location of a, like the path,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see the lines printing because this is single-threaded evaluation, right?
Yeah.
So you can see.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a function that takes options, returns
We're not sure what it returns, right?
fucking cat map. Oh, yeah. Collect is options. So I don't know. It returns something.
This probably produces some sort of a flat. We could also trace it and see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Would you mind
I
doing
mean,
that? Do you want to
hopefully
do
we
that?
don't need to understand it, right? Like we just need to know
Well,
what you give it and what you do with the result.
we see an implementation with this, and we see an implementation without this.
Yeah. Well, it did mention like the set generator with BLAS. Now I'm a little curious if NixVim uses this. Just wild ass guess. Nope. No such love.
So can we go back to NixVim and see
How options work here?
the path that the evaluations go through before they reach MDBook?
Yep. Okay. So
Just a moment.
yep. Vald modules config meta NixVim info. Containers, options, docs equals recursive of something. Ow. Remove unwanted. Eval modules. What is this? NixVim info. Nope. This must be it. Process modules rec. Which looks like it recurses through all the modules. Old headers. Boy. Yeah, maybe this is similar. Thing recurse. Cat map. So list options here. Collect.
Yes.
This might be the analogous logic in NixVim here. So there's this process modules rec, which you give a list of modules. And you can see it's got some recursion in it.
Huh.
Fold adders here on all these modules, calls recurse on them. This is building up something, right?
Yeah.
This might be the like parsed or massaged options.
So this seems to be the more detailed implementation, and we might get away. Might be able to use the.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably using it because they have to, and probably not because they didn't know about this helper function. Another thing we could check, which might be interesting, did they ever use this in Nixfam? Look at that. Okay. So in 2024, we had a -p. Let's see what they were doing. So here is where they stopped using this function, which is use a Nix packages patch instead of copy pasting Nix packages functions. This makes the code more maintainable as it only depends on our small patch. Wow. This is a patched. Is this a IFD here then? Neat. And then we look at the PR where it was added. This is called something prime. So yeah, this is probably where they vendored code from Nix packages. So yeah, seems like they had a reason for it. Hopefully it doesn't apply to us. Something about either. And I don't think we're going to have any submodule, any options whose types are of type submodule. So
Okay. What do you think? We have enough to try to throw something together?
yeah, so I mean, I think we could start without any, right? Just an empty markdown book incantation. And then we can try to wire it up to the module system.
I wonder whether, since these implementations occurred, is there perhaps a markdown book flake parts module out there?
Don't know. Not here, at least.
Maybe something like if we just Google Nix MD book. I know fair.
Run and verify Nix code blocks.
That's not it.
To discuss with friends and strangers. The only people that he doesn't get to talk about this with are his enemies. Library flake to build MD books. P-bar. It's simple. PRs are welcome.
Create a new flake. Slightly more complex example. Build the book.
Here's the usage. So there's a library function here, build MD book project. Which takes a system and a source, and that's it. The simple example, at least.
keys.
Yeah.
System source name.
I don't know. My guess is this is a very thin layer on top of invoking MD book directly.
Book here. MD book build options. Native build inputs. Post build. What about we still have to kind of manufacture a sort.
Right. Yeah.
And does it pass all things, all other args to make derivation?
Don't know. Doesn't say here. We can look at the implementation. I'm guessing this is very small. Yeah, it's literally all in a single flake file, I bet. There it is. Yeah. Very thin wrapper on top of.
And it does not pass everything else to derivation.
Yeah. No. This is so minimal. I do not see the value versus just inlining the implementation. Do you agree?
A good reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the like maybe possibly canonical minimum that you gotta do. So maybe it's a good reference.
Yep. I think it can save us from reading markdown book docs. We could just copy this. So shall we start there?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll rotate over to you. Grab some water and be right back. Awesome.
This is our current access option doc package.
Okay.
Perhaps they do something like modules and just manual. I wonder whether we'd have more files here. I think we can use student of no CC.
That's good. Oh, pardon me. I shared a link to the project we found.
I don't. It's in the same screen. What's it called?
Nick's MD book. That P-bar one, the second result.
What is this? That's an archive. The next book. Wow. Revision.
Oh, pardon. Sounds good.
CKGs. MD.
So no options until we need them. Post build until we need it.
Copy. Book here has the default. Wait, how does this? How do we?
This is kind of silly. Like I'm looking at Stylix, for instance, and in the
You don't
build
see the
phase,
word style, right?
Stylix,
Yeah.
it just has MD book build directly into the app directory. You avoid the copy.
I lost your volume.
Oh, okay. I don't
Better.
think I changed anything. Oh, actually, I probably went away to drink some water or something. So I'm saying MD book build takes a dash dash destdir, which Stylix uses, and then we don't need an install phase at all. They do destdir $out, and then you can delete the entire install phase, and life's great. So that, if we pointed it at a markdown file or something, maybe could you give it like a README, or it probably needs to be a directory with a README. Could you do like a file set that just contains our README?
What's a file set?
The file set library from Next Packages. Isn't that what it's called? File set?
I see what you mean. Okay.
You have that library memorized, so I do not.
Let's see. I'm not sure this actually works. Is self really a path?
It's coercible to a path.
File set will let us know if it works. Not sure my timer is.
I see 2 minutes on the clock.
Just I don't think this works as string. Not sure it's- We don't have auto importing.
Okay. Should be a path.
We can do that.
Oh, maybe that's the way Markdown book works. You need to have a summary.
Build source.
We did see summary mentioned. The code we were reading earlier.
Rotate it.
Okay. All right. Just pull. What's our branch? MD book. MD book. I'll start 7. All right. Okay. Could not open summary.md. So if I just say how do you do this thing? File set
Thorough.
union. That is a weird error to get. No such file.
In SRC.
Okay. Build source SRC. So that's what happens here. I see. Okay, so all this stuff gets put in. So if I do echo yo greater than search summary.md.
There might not be SRC.
Yeah. Where does it get created? Probably in that write packages. No, not $. Whoops. Okay. Look at all this stuff. Index. Really? It's so hard to find indexes. Come on. Really?
There's a
Table of
TLC.
contents? That is a very white looking page that you can't see. There we go. Whole lot of nothing. This is a frame not included directly in the page. This is table of contents. It's a sidebar, something not what we're looking for. Print.html. It's so weird. Pardon me. Hey, that looks a little bit like it with nothing in it, which seems plausible. Okay, I mean, we should probably read the Markdown book docs to see how to create an empty book, but unless you happen to know about Markdown book already. I know nothing about it.
I don't know anything.
Okay. I think it might be worth familiarizing ourselves a little bit with it, before we start asking Nick's questions?
I would do this with an LLM instead of digging here.
Let's give them a chance to have a quick start. And if they don't...
3.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So there's an init. How much crap does that create? Several files. Okay, a book.toml. We didn't create one, so it's not required. A summary.md. Here we go. This is juicy. Try opening it up and adding a few chapters. If any of the chapter files do not exist, MDBook will automatically create them for you. Good luck doing that in a useful way inside of a Nix build sandbox. I'd almost rather not do that, right? And instead error out in a clear way. And then everything goes in the source directory. Each chapter is a separate. Okay, so that's pretty no nonsense. Now what happens if we do this with our janky little summary? Let summary equals. This is what? Toml.
No.
No, that's Markdown. Sorry. Don't know where that came from. There we go. And then we can do something like, what would it be? Build packages.write text file. It probably takes like a summary.md without too many m's. And then we could do something like cp or even ls summary. Something like that, maybe. I never remember how to use this thing. Does it take an adder set? Name and text. Hey, now we have an index. Haha. How cool is that? Okay. That feels more like an empty starter thingy to me.
I'm not thrilled about this tool, MDBook. It's not the right tool for the Markdown is not our source of truth. Source of truth is Nix, and we kind of want a subset of the features of MDBook. So we have to do extra steps to not use some stuff and then do some stuff that makes sense in a non-Nix usage of MDBook. But it's a known path, so we're walking it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future,
I agree.
I think
there could be something that maybe the Nix community has created that we don't know about, or tried to create and fizzled out, or something somebody will create in the future. But this does seem like, yeah, it's going to involve some nasty glue code and massaging Nix into Markdown. But it'll let us build what we want to build.
True.
So, yeah.
Let's keep massaging.
Okay. Great. So, I think we've got the basics of Markdown book under our belt here. It does seem like it's pretty simple. It's just create a summary, and then you make sure you have corresponding Markdown files, although that's not actually enforced. because it'll happily create them for you. And then you write Markdown. And I'm sure there are more details, but that seems like a good starting point. So now we need to figure out how to massage options into documentation. Or we could say, hey, actually, let's start with the environment variables. I think at this point, we could go in either direction.
Options, please.
Okie dokie. So I'd say let's just keep throwing crap into this file, and then we'll figure out the right structure for things later. So we have a NixOS module, right? I can do like self.nixosmodules.default or .api and .fetcher. Okay. Self.nixosmodules.
Not via self though. Via config.
Okay.
In the use the evaluation, not like the result of the evaluation.
Is there a difference?
I'm not sure what the difference is. My intuition tells me this is more idiomatic in Flake parts.
Okay. Well, here we are. So we'll try something like lib.
But it's on config. It will be config.flake.
Okay. This is like what evaled options. Maybe what Nixvim called it. I can't remember. Nixos configuration, sure. All right. And okay. And then with a Nixos configuration, we don't have this thing about platforms to worry about. We're going to go on and call that helper function we learned about, right? It was this insert thingy. I don't remember. I think I've still got it open though. Option adder set to doc list. So doc configuration.options, maybe it's that simple.
No,
Doc list.
That is the configuration. What do you have? Nixos configuration.
Options. Okay, great. So now we have a doc list. I don't know what that is. Let's take a look at it. Can you put arbitrary stuff in here? Summary? Where's that summary? Introduction. So this hashtag summary didn't actually show up in the... Okay. I was hoping to just take a look at this doc list. I guess we could do
a break.
What's a break?
Built-ins.break. And then use
this is a breakpoint.
But don't do it here because this is just before. Do it somewhere later. Like just before make derivation.
That?
Mm-hmm.
Debugger?
Manual.
Q. Okay, love it. Love it. Okay. So it wants to know what packages is equal to.
Nix packages dot system must see. Nix packages, sorry, host value.
Okay, and you can pass that here, can't you?
Not Nix packages dot host value, but I don't. No, it's not.
Won't this do
In
the
Nixos
same thing?
system, you're not supposed. That's like a legacy usage. You're supposed to
Okay.
do it via a module.
All right. Sounds good. This will be system.
Yeah. Evaluate. It takes long because it's going to give you the documentation for entire NixOS.
Oh boy. Well, this is an adder set. There's a list of adder sets, I should say. Built-ins.lm at 0. Cool. 42. Now, we don't want to document all of Nix packages, so
Yeah.
do we filter these out? Is that what we see happening?
That must be happening somewhere.
Insert platform. So insert platform.
Probably later.
Calls this thing.
Literally search for filter.
Render page. Render platform. Okay, filter. Filter does not show up here. Page.options by platform. Render platform. Render the list of options for
Maybe it's
platform.
a whitelist.
Yeah. Built-ins.foldl.
Are we looking at NixVim?
This is Stylix.
Okay, Stylix is because NixVim is its own thing, though. We're like documenting additional options on top of NixOS.
Yep.
Maybe fold index has filtering.
Fold index is just a parameter to a function here. Insert option. Okay, so fold L, what is this? You take a function, a starter, and then a thing to fold over? Is that what this is?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that the thing getting passed here is a subset of stuff? So it's a full Nixos configuration set of options? I don't think it's possible, right? Like this is probably the same thing we're doing up above here.
Search for a literal Stylix. Maybe that will.
Yeah, you're looking for like a whitelist.
Mm-hmm.
Such love. Oh, they are doing the inherit system, but you said that's deprecated?
Pretty sure.
Dummy values. Yeah, not.
What's
This
in
smells
settings.
the same. What's that?
What's in settings.nix?
Yeah, we were just there. Sorry, I should have said. This is just. I guess you get some warnings when evaluating stuff if you don't have something
Error.
set.
You have to provide. These are.
Yeah.
What else?
So I think the answer is the filtering code inspection. It sure looks like this thing is very similar to what we're doing. So any filtering or cherry picking or whatever happens after the fact. Curious what this insert option is. This is another fold over option.declarations.
You know, we already have filtering in this. We already solved this problem once
Oh, okay.
in
I
this
don't
project.
think I was part of this. Shall we look at that?
Maybe a different solution than what everyone else is doing. We did our own. It's not in program
Program
docs. It's
docs.
in Nixos manual.
Okay. Filter options. Boom.
I even tried contributing this to Nix packages and then did not participate in the discussion.
Okay.
It's a small
So
function
what's
that
the predicate? Predicate is not specified here. Lib is not a predicate. Okay. I see. Here we go. Okay. This has prefix self.
there you go.
Hey, okay. Only include options which are declared by a module within Stillix. Yeah, so looks like the same basic idea. It's just happening. They've got some recursion to generate markdown, and then the filter occurs somewhere inside. And this is more of an upfront filter over all the options.
Yeah, let's keep using our own. I think it makes sense.
Works for me. Okay. So filter options equals.
I mean, you know, all this.
We should just take this code, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't see the warning asking us to set state version, but it makes sense that we'd have to do that. And then for my edification, what's this all about? Module list.
Because it uses eval modules instead of Nixos system. Nixos system is eval modules that imports those. And
I see. Okay, well, do you want to just preserve the way we've been doing it?
for now.
Great. Oh, and this was inspired by this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Manual. We're more. Okay. Oh, here we're using self, but you don't like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Big dot flake. All right, and then let's sure. Here we go. Options equals any. And maybe we do want self here. All right. And then here, this will be boom. All right. Doc list. Bad path. Yep. There we go. That's more like it. Boom. That's a much smaller list.
Use
With
colon P.
oh, well, that deep print. Lovely. Okay. Great. So this is a flat list of attr sets that have a list of declarations, description, and then I imagine all the logic to massage this into Markdown and Markdown files is just handwritten Nix code that exists in both Stylix and Nixvim. Does that sound right?
It doesn't sound right. It sounds unlikely.
That sounds unlikely, meaning you think we missed a dependency?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
For one, we're not doing that at the moment. We're using something from existing packages.
okay, well, we can just keep reading code.
Yes. We should do that
So
anyway.
insert declaration. Insert declaration takes this options.declarations, does well with it. Filters out things that aren't from this project. Massages some strings. Calls this insert function. I don't know, man. This sure looks to me like we're rendering Markdown. Cat strings, join items, readme equals, empty page equals. I mean, that's Markdown alert right there.
But that looks like
There's
not
structure though. This
not
insert thing
happy.
is. Sorry?
That doesn't look like the happy path. Let's look at insert, because I don't see where the actual point, the happy path.
We construct an index of all Stylix options using the following format. Something.md equals reference section, readme, contents of module / readme.md or default title, summary, options by platform. Okay, so this is not yet Markdown. It's an attr set that contains some Markdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then something massages these into Markdown. So I guess let's see where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Insert declaration. Insert option. Insert platform. Okay. Index render page. That's the ticket. Here we go. Renders the list of options for all platforms in a page preceded by either the relevant README or the default README if it doesn't exist. Example output. So this thing, I believe, returns a string. There it is. lib.concat lines, page.readme, options, concat strings, map attrs to list, render platform. Yeah. Really does seem to me like all the rendering code is just here. Sorting the options.
Render
Yep.
option.
Markdown. Map render option. Okay. Render a single option.
Ouch.
There you go. Yep, it's all here.
Right. No one bothered extracting this stuff.
What's that?
No one bothered extracting this stuff. It's insane.
They wanted to get shit done, man. Do you want to get shit done?
Yes, but we kind of got it done previously without writing this because there's something in its packages that renders this HTML.
Mhm.
Maybe not exactly like you want it to, but it's HTML. Maybe it's good enough. You know? Maybe we can keep using that HTML and just call it Markdown and pass it on to empty book.
That could work.
Can you show us how you built the existing Xbox manual? A single page.
Not that one. Go here.
Kind of silly that we're using empty book at all.
We are not using MD Book.
That we moving toward.
Oh, okay. Yep. You're there.
This is the entirety of our. It could be styled better. These are our options. There's no need for a search.
Yeah. I agree that this is fine. And I'd be fine with us just doing like an MD Book wrapper for this. I think that could work. And that would give us a place to document the environment variables and do it in a way that makes Nix the source of truth for them.
Yeah. But this would be a page. Or the options. The options would be in a page with options,
Yep.
and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that would totally work. Then I don't know. Is this bringing any CSS with it? No. Okay, so this might just magically look different and hopefully okay if we stick it in Markdown Book because it has some default CSS that maybe looks a little less dated. Not that the style bothers me at all. Like, I'm totally fine with this. The thing I'm bothered by is the environment variable documentation. So, plus it'll be nice to have it all in one place, I think. Okay. So let's take that. I'll rotate over to you. Let me see if I have anything. Up next. Take it away. My gosh. There's like
Sorry.
This tool we're using. Like when I try to share my screen, I end up often unable to click on the like pop-up because there's like a window. Like, do you still have a share screen button or is it invisible right now because you're yeah. And when you move your cursor directly north, slowly. Yeah. This happens to me all the time. And so I like keep not there's a dead area and it infuriates me.
How slow are you moving your cursor?
I'm not moving it that slow. Like I was just trying to demo it to you, but
look, even when I move it slow, it starts disappearing, but does not complete the animation. So it comes back.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't have a fade. So maybe that's why this is so terrible for me. For me, it's like
onto something.
Instantly, yeah, because I can see it fading on your screen.
But this is for the stop sharing. Is it different?
Let me try. Share screen. Sorry for the distraction. Yeah. It instantly goes away.
Huh.
So like I'm moving north. I'm not like going fast, but I'm not going slow here, right? Like to get to it, I have to really jump my screen, my cursor.
Okay. It's different.
Like, and now I'm trying to stop sharing. It's like up and down, and then I finally get it. So, we're both on Chromium-based browsers?
Kind of. I got 2 steps removed. It's Qt
Mhm.
browsers based on Qt WebKit.
Yeah. Maybe you'll eventually have this problem.
Oh, you think I'm behind?
I don't know, or maybe you're ahead. Or maybe it's just something weird about my setup. Like I don't know what it could be. I'm a special snowflake in a lot of ways, but not in my
Web
web browser right now.
WebGL.
Oh, yeah.
I got into a couple of pages that told me, sorry, you don't have WebGL support, so we can't. I couldn't update my profile photo on some of these platforms
Oh my god.
because the thing that
Like the
crops.
pop-up that lets you crop. Yeah. I did notice you updated your profile photo in a few places, so I guess you found out what that's like on every platform you use.
hmm Some of them don't crop at all. Some of them
That
let
was
you
so
crop without
funny.
WebGL.
It was like one of those weird here's how your brain works things where it was like Shahar's profile photo has changed. What was it before? I have no recollection of what it was before. But I know it changed. Your just brains do stupid things like that.
New, new is new. New is an
Right.
interesting.
But what was it before? No idea. If you showed it to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that was it. But I cannot pull it out of the swamp that is my brain.
I think it's an indexing problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there. I
It's
lost my
like
metadata from my file system.
it's
The
you
blocks are
can.
there.
There are data structures, right, where you can only say I know this. This is right, but you cannot access it because you don't have a key.
Oh, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but it makes sense to me that you can build something like says this is present in the set, but doesn't actually find it in the set.
You simply don't have a key to access things by key. Yeah, because it's a key, right? Like the key is Shahar's profile photo. That's that's a key. But there's no there are no keys.
Right.
It's me holding a binoculars, so it's not a
Oh,
very good profile photo in that sense because you can't see my face forward.
gotcha. Well, the new one's great. I'm sure the
Thanks.
old one was great too, but I just all I know is it changed.
I'll take back some minutes and tell you what I do. Think I think thing I'll do is NixOS manual. I think will like at this point we can delete this. It's no longer be that. And I think I'll. So what do we have at the end of this? The check, of course. Here, there's this make derivation. It has this NixOS render docs thing. Um, all of this here. Ops.
What is this
This is
manual.md?
JSON.
Is that something generative for us?
No, no. This is
Is this something
like a
we wrote? It's like a placeholder for. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Here the
Okay,
options should be included.
so I see. So okay, the way this works is we generate markdown that we then render to HTML. Okay, and this source equals okay. This is like some way of injecting JSON into a markdown file. which Nixos render docs knows how to deal with.
So what we get from this is what? Let's build Nixos manual. The single HTML file, which is convenient, right?
Yep.
And this is we kind of don't want it converted into HTML anymore. But we don't have that as a separate step. It's going to be HTML. Because
what might
the
not work for us is the
JSON ends up
fully formed HTML with the like opening and closing HTML tags. That's probably not gonna inject nicely into a Markdown book.
I think it'll be ignored. Because Markdown
Or
is clean.
maybe it'll work. Let's give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah, we could try. So all of this is kind of we can delete this because it's going to have its own. No, not important. All of this is not going to be the manual. It's going to be like
Options documentation.
So it's options.
Great.
And it's HTML, right? So let's just call it HTML.
Sure.
Okay. And this is not the package. This is going to be moved to options HTML. Grab this out of here, put it over here. Now over here.
Yeah, I mean it's a little confusing because what this actually is a derivation that builds a folder that has an HTML file in it.
Mm-hmm.
So options HTML is to access the HTML inside of it, you have to what? String interpolate and do what? / index.html. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the structure of this derivation when we build it?
Yeah.
It's a directory that has an index.
This.
Okay, cool. Great. Awesome.
Now I'll go back to this we started writing here. Remove the break. And I'll take this expression out of here.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Put it over here. I'm not sure what's the...
all of this, but we do want a summary, so maybe because we need that for Markdown book to do anything useful.
Let's just grab this.
Great.
Put it over here. And the rest of it is not valuable anymore.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now I have to see what builds now. Whether it builds. Stop importing. Stop importing. Build. Okay. We have a union here that doesn't work. Because it needs to be twice. And this root also needs to be twice. This built the same thing, right? Right. Result index. Okay. We can call this progress.
Okay.
Try to share screen. Minigame.
Miss. Got it on the third try. Okay.
You like minigames?
Sure.
You know that
This one,
in
not
the
so
game.
much. It depends on what I'm doing. I'm here to code. I don't need more entertainment, right?
My favorite
Like,
minigame was in the game Doom 2016.
okay, never played it.
By the way, blew my mind. I played some games throughout my life, but like Doom 2016.
Doom 2016 is a triumph.
Especially with good headphones on.
It's
Just
scary.
maybe the word visceral.
What is the Doom that came out when I was in high school?
Maybe Doom 3.
Doom 3.
Which is Doom 3 was like a kind of a
Yeah.
divergence from what Doom originally was. Because Doom 3 was
Not
more
the
like a
style.
Half-Life kind of a game. Mm-hmm.
I
Was
never
not
played this one, but I remember.
strictly action.
Got it. 2016. Okay. Maybe I'm in the mood to play an FPS.
And in Doom 2016, as the Doom guy, I approach a gaming PC,
Oh, did they put Doom inside of it?
an old, really old gaming PC. And
Cute.
yes, there's the
Cute.
entire original Doom, like remastered a little bit to some
Uh-huh.
degree.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
Nice. I've been playing a game I never played before. Command and Conquer. I just beat
That's my
the
childhood.
so my first like real video game was Red Alert,
Oh, yeah.
which I was never able to beat as a kid. And then maybe a couple of years ago, I was like, you know what? I want to beat this. It's always on my list
Mm-hmm.
of things to do. So I did, and it was like a little challenging, but like I was able to do it. I was definitely like better at RTSs than when I was in middle school or whatever. So now I'm playing through Command and Conquer, which I'd never played. The original Command and Conquer. It's definitely the same engine as Red Alert. And it's fun. I beat the GDI campaign last week, and I'm chipping away at the Nod campaign right now. But that's what you played as a kid?
Yes. That and Half-Life.
I also never played through Half-Life. Played through Half-Life 2.
Now there's this community remake of Half-Life.
Oh, really?
Black Mesa.
Open source? I guess it must be if it's a community.
I don't know. I don't know.
16-year project. I've not heard of this. Approved for commercial release. Oh, okay. Release. Huh.
I don't know if you call it a community. It's some group,
Yeah.
and it's like more Half-Life than the original Half-Life, right? It's like what Half-Life wanted to be on like more budget, kind of.
Interesting. No, I've not heard of this.
Yeah.
Black Mesa. Crowbar Collective. That's a cute name. Huh. Well, maybe that's the way to play the best video game ever made. I still haven't played it. Well, I mean, I played it, but I haven't like played through it. All right, options HTML. So let's try this.
Make sure you mob start.
I did. I've got your changes here, I believe. And then let's try nested. Sure, whatever. I'm going to call this options.md like that. And then we're going
Can't you
to
just put the
HTML, you think?
the path? Yeah, interpolate the path to the index.
Oh, interpolate the. I was sort of assuming that it was going to want to find markdown files inside of the source directory, but sure, let's hope for the best.
I didn't. Yeah, it's HTML. Is it?
Like that?
Low chance.
Yeah, you're right. Why not try?
Next size manual.
Manual. That needs to get renamed. I'm going to rename that to manual. Does that sound okay?
No, because it will still. We do have a potential commit here that where this is still only the NixOS options documented.
Okay. Fine. Sounds good.
Chapters are always inside a book. I think it's like outside of the path.
I'm not surprised. Options.md, and then we'll add a basically like we have here, options md equals packages.write text file. Name equals options.md, text equals, and this will actually be that.
That'll be IFT. We want to do it in a run command.
Okay. Well, I just want to see it work. IFT is okay here, right? Built-in.read file. What is this? Summary plus /index.html, something like that. Hey, okay. Don't go there. Shahar can't see that. Here we go. Options. Aw.
I think my theory is that because it's inside the HTML tag, the entire HTML tag was stripped.
That sounds plausible. Okay. So, do a nasty string manipulation thing. We can read the underlying code. But really, we should verify your theory first, right, before we do anything. So let's test that theory. So HTML, some stuff here. I'll do this in a div inside of a body, maybe. And then we'll just try some more stuff here, right?
Yeah.
And we're expecting to see some more stuff here, but not some stuff here.
Probably. Also, the yo is not there, is it?
Good point. Yeah, okay, so let's figure that out first before we... Hey. This variable's not used. Hold on. Options mid, cert options mid. Let's try that.
That is that feature where it gets created.
Right. Yep. I'm annoyed about that. I was annoyed about that one when I read it. Okay. Hey. Okay. So that theory did not hold up. The HTML does work. That's
You
good.
don't say.
I do say Shar. All right. I'm tired of that. Python 3-m http.server -d result. Does that work? Localhost 80,000.
Wait, what? What are we serving going on?
I dislike how every time I rebuild, I can't just hop over to my web browser and refresh
Uh-huh.
because like my web browser resolves the result symlink.
Yeah,
So
got it.
the way I deal with that when working on Exhaust docs is
Mm-hmm.
I start up a Python HTTP server that points to the result directory, and then I can just
Cool.
refresh, and life is hunky dory.
But
Got to pull this from the right thing, which is options HTML, not summary. Here we go. Hello, beautiful. Look at
can
that.
you show us the structure of the page?
Like the DOM or the raw HTML?
The raw HTML. But it does
You
not
want to
have
see if there's an
HTML,
HTML
I
tag in
see.
here?
Yeah.
Indeed, there is a whole HTML interpolated into this bad boy. Is our web browser annoyed at us for doing this? Any warnings? Nothing.
I see one issue. It's default levels.
I don't know what this is. Book.js, that's not us. So that works.
Depends on the definition of works.
You remember, what was that? Earlier 2000s when websites would display those little buttons at the bottom about being XHTML compliant?
Yes.
I'm going to guess we wouldn't pass one of those.
Perhaps that command that we use to generate the docs, what is it called?
Yeah, we could see if it has some knobs.
Yeah.
Sure, let's take a look. Mixos, render, docs, manual HTML. Is there like a...
Manual. What is manual? Is like an argument.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Manual HTML. It could be Markdown.
Maybe,
Just change it to
maybe.
Markdown.
Positional arguments are options or manual. I don't know what that's all about. This thing's written in Python, I can tell you that. And then there's one option, one positional argument here, Shar. There's one positional argument that takes exactly one value, which is HTML. So somebody prepared for a future, but I don't think anybody built that future yet. But we can go read the code and see if we see any evidence of anything useful. Maybe it's a small diff to get what we want out of this thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure. That's
Do you want to go down that path?
uh,
Or do you want to get shit
just
done?
enough. I want to see the source just enough to confirm that it's not some private feature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see the README for this?
Sure.
The file that you ended up matching on the graph. Render.
Common mark. Oh, I've got a thing. I can try using it. Markdown preview. Here we go. Common mark and man pages render for the Nixos and Nix packages manual. It implements RFC 72, a lossless documentation, custom extensions. Okay. Wow. I love this. Comes across so defensive, but I appreciate it.
Why?
This is why we did this, man. We thought about doing other things. I swear. Like, we're not idiots. It's like, I feel like you and I are pretty good about assuming that people in the Nix community are not idiots. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe, enough people have been burned by people assuming that they're idiots, that they felt the need to write this way. Okay. This is very meta, and I don't think is talking about things at the level that we care about.
But
Redirects.
it said, like, just the fact that it exists and we're not using it because, like, it seems to not do what we want. Maybe it does do what we want. Maybe you don't need MD boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Deadlify. So is this Priyanshu's project? The guy we met at, or the guy I met at
No.
Tiger
This
Shrine?
is.
Didn't he do the redirects stuff?
Did he?
I thought so. I don't know.
What are redirects good for if there's no multiple? It's all a single page.
I'm not sure that this is a single page. I think Priyanshu
Nix
was
packages
talking to
and
me about
NixOS
this.
manuals are single page.
Yeah, he was talking to me about this, about how it either already is split up or there are plans to split it up and keep the original single page HTML as well. So it's definitely like he was explaining some of this to me, and I couldn't I didn't understand if it was like this is how things are or how things might be soon. So, but he's definitely worked on this stuff, even if he's not the one who like created this.
Okay. Well, in any case, let's go to the source.
All right.
A little bit. Tell me what you can. That's
MyPy. Where's the entry point here? Build system setup tools. All right, let's take a look at the README. Nixos, render, docs. I mean, the Pi project. Here we go. Okay, great. Nixos, render, docs, main. Nixos, render, docs, main. Nixos, render, docs, init.html, and there must be a main in here. There we go. Commands.add parser, manual.build CLI. I always find it intimidating when projects
if
break
args
up their
command
CLI.
equals options.
Where are
Maybe
you
we
looking?
want 46. Maybe we want option.
Yeah. Who knows what that does? Man page, common mark, ASCII doc.
Common mark. Wait, what? That's the source, isn't it?
This is args.format. So there's a, if we go options here, you get to say options man page, common marker, ASCII doc. So we might be able to render actual markdown out of this thing.
What?
Which would not get us out of the business of using Markdown Book, but would make things a little less gross. All right. Options MD, maybe. And then this will be options common.
Why Options.
Well, that's the invocation here.
Really?
Exhaust render docs options.
Okay,
Comment.
okay. Sorry, I didn't follow that. Okay.
And then comment mark dash dash help. And then this is take the same parameters. Main page URL revision. And then in file, out file. Yeah, looks reasonable. Maybe let's call it options.md, index.html, options.md. Okay.
We have.
And actually, let's just get rid of that. Now no IFD. Doesn't that feel wonderful? Okay. This is / options.md though. Little asymmetry there. That's fine. We can always clean this up in the future. We're just hacking. Next build, next house menu. Oh,
JSON decode error. Well,
fortunately, this doesn't tell us what is not JSON.
it's expecting JSON at line
F is
1.
supposed to be JSON.
I think this means that we're not supposed to.
Oh, this markdown substitution is unnecessary. Do we just point it
maybe.
directly at this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to comment this out because we have a file to delete. That's going to be hard to remember to delete.
You are commenting something out, but.
Yep. It'll work though, right? Because it's still valid bash code.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, makes sense. What is this? What are we looking at?
I think it worked. Let's take a look at the source. /HTML. Nope, did not work. How did that appear to work?
That's different, isn't it?
That worked. Okay. So there we go. Oh, I just refreshed the wrong page or something was cached. But this looks good. If I search for / less than HTML, only shows up once.
I am quite happy now.
That is a lot less bad. It does have the main.
What's main?
Which presumably, actually that probably, never mind. That's not it. You can see where it is, right? Because it's not indented. So ignore what I said. This is it. It's not prettified, but it serves us well now because we can see exactly where it is. Beautiful. This looks great. I wonder if this is what Nix Vim uses. This looks very familiar style. I'm a little curious if we search for options common mark in Nix Vim. Because we only looked at Stylix. Look at this. Nixos render docs common mark. So they've got some patch to this file.
Admonition. GitHub flavored markdown.
Yeah.
Because they use GitHub flavored markdown.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can.
Good old Matt. That guy is so productive. It's like doing everything all the time. All right, cool. So yeah, they're probably using a very similar code path. But they're still using MDBook. Do you want to continue with MDBook? Or do you want to?
Yes, I think we're on the right track, right?
Great.
Because MDBook we can include more arbitrary content, and that's that's exactly what we intended to do.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little thing that says, "Hey, this is what we're doing right now. We've launched this thingy." Although, okay. I just had a thought. This is absolutely not meant to derail us right now. Are we gonna want our deployed we're gonna host this thing on some domain name, right? This like preview deploy of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if that domain serves up our Rust project, then it will not serve up the Markdown book page, the Markdown book docs, because that's not served up by the Rust project.
Sorry, what is serving up the Rust project? It's a deployment. There's a deployment, right?
Mhm.
It is a deployment, and the deployment does not serve up the documentation of the project that is deployed.
Right. Which I think is fine.
We are currently serving our documentation for the project in GitHub pages.
Right. So maybe what we do is we have like, after we get this Markdown book working the way we want, we then add a very simple homepage to the Rust project that just links to wherever we host the docs.
I see.
Anyways, I'm just trying to plant that. I get that this is a whole thing, and we don't need to. If you want to
Yeah,
talk
but
about that now, I'm down. But
it's
we
on the
can also,
list. No, it's on the list,
yeah,
and it has. I
we'll
don't
get
think it
there.
has implications on what we're doing now.
Yeah. Okay. Mob next. Take it away, sir.
For what it's worth, you don't really need to stop sharing.
Yeah.
So,
It's my mini game.
so this is very, very, very. We just need to like, workflow. We have program docs, which we're not changing. We have this, which we're not changing. But this also doesn't change because result has an index HTML. It's copied recursively to this.
Great.
So I don't think this workflow changes. As long as results for this ends up with some index HTML, then I think
Awesome.
that's good. And that is already the case, right? If I build this and I do that, we end up with our new documentation. It already has all the content.
Yeah.
Of
We're basically ready
one.
to PR this. Like, we need to make this have a good name, get rid of the unnecessary sections,
Yes.
and
Okay,
I
let's
think
do
we're
that.
pretty much there. We could add a little preamble if we wanted on this page.
I say keep it minimal because the next step would be to not have to include the what we're going to do, like to include the contents of the README as
Sure.
something, and then so let's remove. But there needs to be this structure. What is this for? This is nothing now, right? Like
That's why I commented out that code rather than deleting it to remind us to delete this file.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this file But now there's no empty directory. Does that make sense?
Well, are we going to want a directory? I guess we're going to rename it anyways, right? Like it's not going to be called Nixos manual soon. It's going to be called like book or manual.
So I'm going to rename it Nixos manual and cut it, put it here, do this, go over Slave Nix, Nix, open up this manual and the summary. Right.
Fix the
Summary
import.
thingy. Fix.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah, that's. Sorry, be quick.
I thought I saw you scroll right past it. Not that one. There's an import of like lib code in here on line 26.
Oh, imports like these.
Great.
There's also probably file set.
Good point.
But we're not using the README anymore, are we?
Well, yeah.
Why do we? What source are we? We don't need a source, do we? What
Does not seem
source?
like it. I don't know what make derivation requires to just get like an empty directory going.
It's
Can you
not
just
like the
omit source?
run command. I think that's like make derivation without a source is like. Sorry. Yes. No CC make derivation without a source is just run command.
Sure.
But
Works for me.
and I think we're not definitely not using it. So. No CC. I think run command no CC is run command. I don't remember the args for run command. Shoot me.
Neither do I. Name, env, and then probably multi-line string. So name will be BR tracker manual. I think env is going to require us to build a path or to use lib.getexe in the script.
What? Sorry?
I don't think this will work. Give it a shot. Try this before I try to explain why I think this won't work. This is not the thing I was expecting. I don't know what this is.
Didn't save like.
Okay. Modules. Exhaust manual.
This is Git shenanigans.
Need that idea of him to do that for you, man.
Oh, you have a thing that does that.
Right.
Okay. Well, it is next to me.
Great. Okay. And see, now I don't need to explain a bunch of bullshit because it worked.
Good thinking.
Wonderful. Well, it was bad thinking with a little bit of enough good thinking to not burden you or the viewers with the bad thinking.
The viewers.
The viewers. Okay, and we've got the thing running. So if I do a hard refresh here, boom, 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 looks good. To work. Okay, so let's talk about what we want the structure to be. Introduction. I do. Okay, so that's coming from the name right here, huh?
Sorry, we have 33 subscribers. Does that mean anything to you?
Uh, that that's more than I would have guessed, but I'm also now wondering how many of them are humans.
We have 72 hours of total watch time. How about that?
Also more than I'd expect. Okay, manual.md. You deleted that file?
Yeah.
Great.
What is manual.md? Yeah, right.
You
That
you
was the
deleted it.
one in which the JSON was injected.
Yeah. What is this? Make them echo blah. Wow. Okay, so this is just some required parameter. Yep. Okay, sure. Whatever. Weird. Built for one use. Okay. So what do we want? Do we
Did
just
it
want
succeed?
introduction?
What do we have there?
It works. It works. We're
Okay.
good. So shall we promote options up to just be the top level thing and have a single page book?
The only thing.
Options. Options.md. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know what summary means. It doesn't seem to show up anywhere.
Notice you have duplicate file extension there.
Thank you. Okay, great. Hard refresh. Here we go. That's as easy as it gets right there.
Dark color scheme.
Look at that search functionality.
there's,
Amazing.
there's search.
Very cool. All right, I'm happy. Till we ship it?
I think so. Can we look at review the implementation of that package file?
The
That
implementation
module.
of that package file. I'm sorry, I
Sorry,
don't understand.
not well phrased. Just this file. Not default. What is
Okay,
it?
so the source.
Next was
Shoot, do I not have your
manual.
change? Did you change this to run command?
Yes.
This is probably going to be nasty.
It won't work. It's a different file. Just do it again.
Okay. Sorry about that. Run command. And then this is it takes name and
But I also
native.
moved to the file. I thought you were going to do your change again. Not my change. Do whatever.
What's my change? Oh, I see. All right, let's do that then. Sure. Get co dot mob start.
Change to different file. That one.
Okay. This is gone. Options. Options.md. Nice highlighting. Put that there.
Remove the comment.
Which comment?
Line 70.
Oh no, that's to get nice editor support.
What do you mean?
Like this makes it look like this is a link.
What?
Oh, that
We
didn't work.
have that?
Not looking very good. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Like, I mean, you can see it's doing something.
What is it doing?
This works really well for like Python, right? Like print. That looks great, right?
It should work for anything. This is just. I didn't even know that. What?
Yeah, this is when I was did my like week and a half of getting distracted by NeoVim and Lua and NixVim and Tree Sitter and LSPs and everything, I saw that the NixVim folks just baked this in to when you enable Tree Sitter, or yeah, when you enable Tree Sitter, you just get this for free as a NixVim user.
What?
But
So
it doesn't look great.
it should work for Markdown because that's Markdown and solid
Okay, I guess
Markdown.
my Markdown, maybe it's just the way my editor's configured. It doesn't seem to do much fancy with links or anything.
Okay, try paragraph. Add a paragraph to that. Not here. To where it doesn't seem to work, or maybe it does work. Add a paragraph.
This is a paragraph.
No. That's different than the Markdown file, isn't it?
Oh, the flat color. Yeah. I don't know. But it's definitely different than just a Nix string.
Can you?
I just like.
Is it supposed to be added somewhere else? What? No, the Python works.
Yeah.
Why would Markdown not work? Huh.
Well, it like works, but it's like just not. Yeah, that's weird. What's the file type? Do I have the file type right? File type equals MARKDOWN, all lowercase. What happens for you?
We will find out soon enough.
Okay. Anyways, I don't have to leave it there, but that's why I put it there. I think the NixVim folks use this style, which I find a little weird, but I guess tell me what you prefer.
Sure, leave it whatever. Leave it
Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay, great. Summary.md. The other cool thing is that support for these injections, they wrote it in a way that like understands a lot of like built-ins. So like run command and things. It'll like see, oh, this is some bash code, so we're gonna like, for foo in bar do and like you get shell scripting without me having to shell syntax highlighting without me having to even mark this as a shell script. Whereas if I change this to like run command whatever, then it all goes back to just a multi-line string.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Somebody put a lot of love into it. That was like when I was like, holy shit, I like what the NixVim folks are doing. Like, so much effort. Okay. I totally lost track of where we were, though.
Just reviewing this, I suppose.
Does it work? Because I had to reapply changes. Did I successfully reapply changes? Okay, hard refresh. Looks good. There's an index.html, which confusingly, okay, links to an options.html that's the exact same contents, but whatever. Okay. That's going to change soon.
But
Okay.
can we understand how that works? Index, the links, options. What if we call it index instead of options?
Like this?
Yeah.
Or
Will it just overwrite the original index?
still called options.html?
Because it's options.md. It's the name file name. Is it not the...
Yeah, I guess so. And what was the simple MD book example? Introduction, readme. Yeah. So like this one doesn't have a bullet. associated with it. There's also this summary thing, which I deleted because I couldn't tell what it did. But maybe that's worth understanding. Well, it's optional. Okay, so it's common practice. So should we follow the common practice?
This is ignored by the parser, however, and can be
Yeah.
omitted. So it's useful only in the case where this can be read via Markdown.
Right. Shall I add it back?
We don't need it at all because we don't
Okay.
have that use case.
All right. Draft chapters. Interesting.
But did we understand what that not in a list means? Which of these numbered?
Prefix chapter. Before the main numbered chapters, prefix chapters can be added that will not be numbered. It is useful for forewords, introductions, etc. So introduction right there. There are, however, some constraints. They cannot be nested, they should all be on level, and you cannot add prefix chapters once you have added number chapters.
You mean
That's
after?
Yeah. No, Shahar, once you do it, there's a file that gets created somewhere hidden on your computer, and it will not let you ever do it again. It gets written to your TPM and cannot be deleted.
So I think
Yeah.
we should be a numbered. Wait, numbered? We don't need numbered. Are the number chapters really numbered? They are numbered.
Mhm.
They are numbered, but the links to them are not numbered.
That's correct.
So the numbers may change. That's not a problem. It's kind of it's a human problem, but it's not a
Right.
link problem.
Yeah.
Haven't you read chapter 3? Well, I've read chapter 3.
Yeah.
Chapter 3 says that's not chapter 3. That's chapter 4.
You got to be specific about which version of the book you're talking about, Shahar.
Chapter 3 in version. Oh no, that's not the version. Sorry. What version?
Yep. What do you want from people, man? It's hard. You're talking about fundamentally hard problems. Like write a book. Well, printed books stay put, but technically, books written in software can evolve quickly. No.
I'm just having
Yeah.
having some comedy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think I totally grok this whole summary thingy. Like, it seems to me like the example here would have two files. So let's verify. They're claiming this is the source code for this book we're reading. So did this take me
What
to a
do you
file
not
called read?
understand?
Well, the question you were asking was, Jeremy, do we understand why there is both an index.html with some contents and an options.html with the same contents? That's why we were reading this summary.md page. I don't feel like it explained that.
It didn't. I think apparently what's happening is that the first prefix chapter ends up as the index as well.
Yeah.
And
Now here's a funny
unfortunately,
thing. Sorry, go
it
ahead.
ends up in two different stages, two different paths.
Yeah. So I wanted to test that with theirs. So if I go to their intro, and it takes me to here. So this doesn't seem to have that behavior. This one right here, when I click on that, it takes me to there. That doesn't
I
exist.
think at lower cases it.
Still, with us, it links to the non-index.html version of the name.
Aww.
That's an inconsistency right there. Now that I look at it, the styling's also different, right? This one says introduction in black. This one says index in blue. Is it the indentation? Is that the problem? No, it's
There
not
is no
indented.
indentation.
Yeah, that's not it. I know this is not used,
Yeah,
but
do it.
just
Um,
thrashing around at this point. Yeah, it's still blue. Rendered as unordered list. This right here, unordered list, class equals chapter, chapter, item, expanded, affix, options.html. Oh, okay. It's just because when you're there, it renders as blue. So that was a red herring. That just tells you what page you're on right now. Just hard to tell when you've only got one page. Maybe they've lied to us, and maybe that isn't actually the code that this page is built from.
the discrepancy is that there is no additional file. Is README special?
Yeah, is README special cased? Good question. Let's find out. Okay, wait, sorry. Let me do the minimal change here, which is just that and that. Okay. Hard refresh. Sure. Okay, hard refresh. Make sure I'm not caching anything. Yep.
Okay.
You want to find the code? I'm convinced that's what it does.
In any case, I have a suggestion.
Hit me with it.
Let's include the README.
Okay.
Is that a good idea? Nah. Let's do a workaround. Because now like the README, we're not ready for that. Let's just do a workaround where we just copy it as the README and
Yeah, it's fine. This is going to change in moments, right? Like we're going to rework this very soon.
Yes.
So I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
We can leave a comment, or we can just move on with our lives.
I suggest that it's not a prefix chapter, that it's a numbered one. So that I don't know what will happen if there is no prefix one. I think they'll just be index will be empty. And then it doesn't need to be README, right? Then it can be options again.
Let's see if it's empty, because it might just be the first chapter. Yeah, it's just the first chapter.
Huh. And options. Not and options, but I think we want it to be option. Does that make sense? Like, we don't need, if it's numbered, there's no problem with this. There's no actual problem. It's just weird.
Yep, we understand it, so let's change it back. I agree. Yeah. And then this way, if people bookmark this page in hopefully just the hour in between us. Well, who knows how long this will take, because I think generating Rust code with Nix is going to be a whole adventure. But yeah, this looks great.
Options will remain options. Actually, options remain options even if it's a prefix page. We saw that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter whether it says one dot there or does not say one dot there.
Yeah. We also, instead of including our README, we could add a very simple intro, but I'm fine with this.
I think eventually it's good that the README is there. I think that's great. That's also common practice. So let's
just get to that
code and
in a subsequent PR. Yeah. Okay. Git diff, markdown, book.
Well, our code is we don't need, like, the git diff will show us like the name change, and then this. I will just read.
What do you
I
want to see?
would suggest if we read top to bottom.
Of this file?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so I don't think any of this stuff changed.
Can we stop? We have these inherits. I don't support them anymore. But
I'm fine with them.
I like.
I don't feel the need to get rid of them, at least. But if you want to get rid of them, I'm fine with it. Not a hill I want to die on.
Yeah, I would remove them, or at least make it consistent, because that's not what we're using lib here as well. I think
I just don't like this level of style stuff. It's like not enforced by anything except whoever's feeling OCD right now. So I think that's it, though.
Okay, and then filter options is just a thing. Easier configuration. Lib eval modules. That can actually be lib NixOS system.
Okay.
Make the
And
code
then
a
get
little
rid of this
shorter.
reference to imports.
Yeah, let's try that. So system.
Yeah.
Still good.
Hard refresh looks good.
Any warnings? There were no warnings, right?
No warnings.
So these 222 is actually necessary, and 23 is the only one that you get a warning for if you don't.
I think you will. Let's see. No warning. I think you'd get a warning if you built the system, but we're not building the system.
Okay, yeah, remove it.
So shall we remove it?
Yes, please.
Great. Love it, love it.
We are not.
Right.
Even with, so it's funny. Why? What was need system? Why does it need Nix packages host platform for not building? I think it's like a kind of a not a
it might be an
good
assertion.
reason. Yeah, I think it's like not a good reason. It's just a early assertion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually know. When you define assertions in an NixOS module, do they all run, or is there some?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like even if they don't necessarily matter, like because you're not using.
Yeah, I think they all. There's no.
There's no laziness to them, right? Like there's no like if I reference this.
Yeah. There's laziness in them.
But like as part of evaluating your NixOS configuration, every assertion runs.
I think so. I never thought of it, but I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's no other mechanism that references them. So, oh no, I just got paged about something. Oh boy. Oh wait, this might actually be relevant to our interests. I think I just got paged about PR Tracker. Let me pull up this page.
What PR Tracker?
It's running in a closet in my house. Things go wrong, I get paged. Okay, PR Tracker Fetcher has been down for more than 15 minutes. Do you want to look at this?
It's not production. I suggest we finish what we're doing and then look at it.
All right.
I want to switch context.
Okay. So,
okay.
Filter, nothing new there. I'm just taking this code on faith. Nothing. We didn't change anything here.
Variable list ID.
Yeah.
Transform options. Remove address, options declaration. I don't know what that is for,
Yeah, I wasn't here
but
when
it's
we wrote this
existing
code.
code.
Yep.
Options MD. That's a make derivation. That also looks like a run command, doesn't it?
Certainly could be.
Yes, I think it should be. Because that source, what is that source, is not used, isn't it?
It doesn't look like it.
Mm-hmm. So that is name, and then env, and then okay. You have a semi at the end of 37.
Thank you. Okay. Quite an interesting formatting. Great. Okay.
You're out, man page
I would
URLs.
propose that we try to achieve some symmetry here. This bothers me. How here this is a actual MD file. Like, I guess I'm going to start by renaming it to achieve a little bit of symmetry. The other thing that weirds me out is this is an actual markdown file. This is a folder that contains a markdown file.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to make it consistent in either direction. Do you have a preference?
My first choice would be a single file,
Okay,
but
that's easy, right? We just do $out here, and we're done.
well, don't do make dir out. Line 40.
Thank you. Just like that, right?
Vision, divide because required, but seems to be unused. Summary MD write text file, summary MD text markdown. Can remove that summary, 54.
Yes, we can.
And can remove that lit, make it not a list, make it a prefix chapter. 954.
Wait, you just said you wanted a list.
I
Did you change your mind?
yes.
Okay.
It's very small. In any case, it's going to have the same URL. The only difference is like one dot.
Yep.
In packages access manual, please run command PR tracker. Manual, that's not different, but I think we should rename it into like PR tracker NixOS manual 960.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Native element debug, make their source link this.
Oh no, sorry. Now I'm getting called because of the page. Sorry, let me just acknowledge the page real fast. Okay. Page is acknowledged. All right.
Summary and options are different case. 66, 67.
Indeed they are. This one comes to us from, this isn't actually totally schizophrenic, right? Like, that's what we see in the Markdown book. It's like special things.
README is like a GitHub pattern. README.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is it kind of like they tell us, hey, create a summary.md, which is like a special file that MD book knows about. But then all the examples. So like maybe, I don't know. What is command line tool? Does it get special treatment? Yeah, look at that. So, I'm not saying this is what they're trying to do, but everything that has special treatment by this tool seems to be capitalized. The READMEs get a little bit of special treatment.
What is this? What did you just find? What's the special
So I was
treatment you just
curious.
found?
We went through this whole adventure,
Yes.
and this actually turned into index.html. And then I was wondering, does that happen here as well? So I clicked on command line tools, and the answer is yes. It also gets special treatment.
What about, I see some lowercase summary.md somewhere. What is
Yeah.
what is
So
that?
I think that will not get any special treatment. And indeed, it does not. It's actually the
Not
page we're looking at.
only that, but what do you mean summary.md? In
This
it's
is
literally
documentation explaining this file that
okay,
one would
okay,
create.
got it. Yeah,
It's a little meta, right? Because
yeah, it's meta.
it's describing itself.
Okay.
So I don't think that what we're doing is wrong. I
No,
think
I
it's
agree.
reasonable.
That's fine. MD book build, dear out. Checks. Can you change checks to be config? Self prime. That's the right thing to do. Okay. I'm happy.
Yeah, I don't think I totally understand the whole desire to use config, but I not don't feel the need to have a conversation about that right now. So there's one more thing that's bothering me. This make temp. Is this equivalent to something like this?
I don't think it's even. What is?
Does that work?
I don't even understand what's going on there.
I'll explain it if it works. Looks like it works. Can we just drop this? I assume we can't, right? It's probably a required option. Yeah. Okay. So this right here is shell substitution syntax saying, hey, run this subcommand, capture it in a temp file, and feed that as a file, like a named file, to the thingy. So
And
just
empty curlies are what? Block?
empty
I don't even
curlies
know.
right here
Yeah.
are, I'm just taking that from here. So I didn't write
Oh,
this.
that's JSON.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah. So this right here stayed the same, and then this dance surrounding it just turned into less than.
Nice. Thank you. That's nice.
Yeah. I think I lied a little bit, just for the record. This isn't actually truly a file on the file system. It's like a pipe or something, which can confuse some programs if they can't handle a non-real file. But Fish has a clever thing where it makes it a real file. And the tricky thing about making it a real file is then cleaning up the real file. And Fish has some magic to make that work. So, anyways, details. All right. I think this works. Shall we done this?
Yes. You can do a mob. You can do a mob next or mob done, commit it, and I'll do a check.
Let's do that. Okay. Git commit. All right, what is this? A chore?
This is a doc.
This is a docs. Okay. Docs. Use Markdown book.
MD book, yeah, use an MD book or an Excel doc. It does not complete.
What is this?
It's part
Okay,
of
we haven't
unified.
completed anything. I see. Boom. Git push. Okay. Feel free to get CI going.
Git.
Can I hold on to the share though while you get CI going, and we can look at this thing I got paged about?
As if I do the right thing. Next flag. Okay. It's
Great.
going.
Take it back. Okay. So
It's
where
done
is
because it's cache. So I'm
wonderful?
going to,
Merge it
or
up.
you can.
Okay.
You know what? I have the command here.
All right. Go for it.
Branch. And it is shipping.
Okay. So
Sorry,
PR
I'll
tracker.
be right back.
All right. I'm gonna start looking into this. Page Clark. CTL status. Okay. Journal CTL-U -R. All right. Oh, I broke this. Not interesting. Yep, right there. Okay. What did I do? Git show. What did I do to this file? Right. tracker.nix. Okay, there we are. The file used to be owned by that user. My bad. Files.token.owner equals.
All right.
All right, that was not interesting. I broke it. I'm using plan now, and that means I had to change all the way I do my secrets, and I was moving fast and late last night. The way I am encrypting the secret changed, and the line of code that said that this needs to be readable by the user that our PR tracker fetcher service runs as disappeared. So now this is just owned by root. So all I have done here, ignore that. All I have done here is change this PR tracker GitHub token to be owned by the PR tracker fetcher user. So I should be able to do a clan machines update Clark. And I think that'll fix things. All right, sorry for that. That was not interesting. Do you want to take the screen and we can chip away at the next thing?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
Fun fact, though, that is in what, year and a half of running it? First time? Is it maybe only the second time I've been paged? To be fair, I didn't have paging set up until somewhat recently, though.
Hmm. This should have an action running now.
Great. So do you want to work on the homepage and possibly integrating something into the actual Rust program as well? Or do you want to work on the environment variable documentation?
The environment variable document.
Okay, let's do it.
I kind of don't understand how you broke that apart, though. You said two
So,
options, and they seem like a bit mixed.
well, I see it as two different units of work. It doesn't have to be two different units of work.
Homepage, I see, is distinct entirely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, the homepage. And then the thing I said about the Rust code is we're going to deploy this thing. I would like for people, when they use this thing, to be able to like delete the path from the URL because they're curious about the thing they're using, and then like somehow find some useful information about the thing.
Sure.
And that requires changing the Rust code.
Okay. Environment variables.
Let's do it.
So we want to. Oh, look, it's deploying. That means that here, and then boom.
Beautiful.
That's much less embarrassing.
Very nice.
Yeah. I am relieved that things go dark color scheme automatically.
Can you explain how that works? Is that a Wayland thing? I have been meaning to look into that on Linux, and I have never figured it out. Well, I've never looked into it. But I sure would love to not have to do the research.
Huh. Hmm. Well, I think I had something explicit, but now I think Stylix takes care of that. Prefer color scheme dark. Yeah.
Does it
Stylix takes care of it.
change over time, or is it a constant on this
Oh,
machine?
I wonder whether this is unnecessary now. Anyway, is it what?
Does your web browser change from preferring dark to light
Oh,
over time,
no,
or is it
no, it's all the time.
it's always dark? Okay.
Yeah.
And what if you're like outside on your laptop on a sunny day?
Then I wish I had a better screen. Laptop.
Okay, got it.
I think dark mode works just fine as long as the screen is good.
I've never seen a screen that works well in daylight, but I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur. I mean, other than like an e-ink screen. E-ink's magical. It's the best.
Word. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, I know you have a switch toggle. I have never looked into that.
Well, I don't have a switch to toggle my web browser. I don't even know how to tell my web browser that I want dark mode.
It depends on the web browser.
No. So there isn't a Linux thing. Like,
There is. No, there is. No, there is. The browser can pick it up. Yeah.
and is it a Wayland thing? Or is it an X thing? Or is it something more generic?
I think it's just. I think it's just.
Oh, it's an environment variable. That would be hard to change
Right.
when your web browser's running.
Yeah, that's. LS colors I've never seen before. I think Stylix probably does
Mm.
this.
Yeah, that affects the behavior of the ls command.
I don't see it. It's not an environment variable.
I wouldn't expect it to be, because it's something that some people care about changing when your computer's running, right? Like at nighttime, it goes into dark mode.
Yeah. So I think
Okay.
there's probably a dconf one and then
Mm,
a
for the
qt
GNOME folks,
one.
and then another thing for the KDE folks.
Yeah, KDE is not it anymore, right? It's called. I think it's
Plasma.
Qt. So Plasma is the
Okay.
desktop environment.
Right.
It's all quite distinct nowadays.
Yeah.
Dconf.
Okay. So there's
I
probably
don't
some
know.
deconf thing that Chrome is able to pick up on.
It's binary.
Yeah. It's a mess.
Okay.
Cool.
Good luck.
Yeah, haven't picked up that adventure yet. It's probably not a huge adventure, but I just haven't. Anyways, okay. Let's
This is what we want to generate.
generate some Rust code.
The API config, and what about the fetcher?
So for starters, can I
Hey,
push back a little bit on your claim that we
yeah.
have a single source of truth? Our NixOS module does repeat the environment variable names, right?
True. To some degree, some of them, something.
Is that something we're hoping to address with the work here?
Maybe in stages, like possibly we could, move the source of truth from Rust to Nix, and then that's one step. And then we could take a look at the NixOS options. But I can tell you
Okay.
right now, it doesn't seem as important as significant as moving it from Rust to Nix.
Well, I'll push back on that a little bit, and maybe not in the direction you're expecting. I'm not going to claim it's important, but I would claim that duplicating this between Rust and Nix would be fine, in the same way that we have some duplication that you just said is okay. Like, it feels like the same level of okay to me.
Sure, we can. I'd love to take a look at it. If we can generate NixOS options, that will be
Okay. Yeah, well, let's do it.
Let's do
So
it,
I
he
think
says.
for starters, what sort of mechanisms do we have for like injecting code, right? Like, can we pull Rust code out of an environment variable? Or can we pull a Rust file out of an environment variable? Something like that.
I would say we probably can do anything because macros are arbitrary. So,
Okay.
But I will rotate it. I'll get pull because we probably have no. Apparently, docs don't generate a release. Fine.
were. Alrighty, did that succeed? Let's see. CTL. PR tracker fetcher.service. 48 minutes ago. Okay, let me restart it. Okay, now it's chugging along. Ooh. No, that's just about rate limits. Okay, cool. Neat. All right. Things are chugging along there. And it's using the token to talk to GitHub, so I think we got past whatever issue we had.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Fix file. All right. Great. Starting the timer. All right. Git pull. And then what are we going to call this? And
Mix declared.
vars config
Config.
mob start dash create.
Is this on top of main?
Yes, it is. I just did a get pulled before that.
You want us to like do take a look at how we include arbitrary Rust code from environment variable?
Yeah, sure. Let's start there. So if we go to API main
It's
right here.
API config.
Well, I just want
And
to.
fetcher config.
Yeah,
Just
but I
see
want to just
something.
demo it here. Like
Okay.
jfly equals print bang
Print line.
println bang objection. Sorry, say that again.
Semicolon at the end of that statement, and it'll be an entire statement injected, right?
Okay, cool. So I would like to get this injected as the first line right here.
Yes, it's not that I know of a particular macro that does this.
Okay. Shall we Google or?
But I know of a macro called include stir. So perhaps an equivalent would be called include raw, include code, include verbatim.
Okay. Include underscore stir. And then can we read an environment variable? Like, can we just use include stir?
Include stir.
Oh, that's a path to a file. Okay.
But include stir, the code that is generated by include stir is a literal stir. That's not what we're looking for.
Oh, got it. I see.
An equivalent to that, which is include code, include verbatim. See, there's like include bytes, which give you a bytes literal. And
parses a file as an expression or item.
Yeah, that's it.
Unhygienically.
It is a warning.
Yeah.
Warning from multi-file Rust projects. The include macro is probably not what you are looking for. Usually, multi-file Rust projects use modules. Okay, no, it is what.
This is what we want. This is like for somebody coming from C or something. It's like, oh yeah, this is how you do things. It's like, well, that's not how we do things. Okay, and then can I like get env? We've done this before,
Yeah,
right? With
you
like,
can nest the macro calls and
yeah,
env,
and
env, env bang.
env bang, something like that.
I believe that's what it is.
Okay, show me what you got.
Well, you got a failure in the editor.
Yeah, sure. I don't care about that though.
Oh, that particular failure does not matter.
Could not compile. Okay, so this is not working. It's trying to read a file with a name determined by the content. So include bang is still expecting a file, not a literal string.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so we could create that file, which kind of sucks.
Well, with Nix, that wouldn't be a pain at all, right? Like,
It would be a pain in development because
how would it?
in the shell, no, yeah, it's fine.
Either way,
It'll be a file in the store, which means
yes.
it'll keep hitting creating stuff in the store, which is unnecessary. If we can avoid that and like include env, right? There's a break that does that.
I
So
don't.
that's a little
Why?
bit
Why
nice.
would we be looking for include env? What we would want is include string literal, not include
String. Oh, okay.
right? Like
Because
the
it could
confusing
be.
thing is this takes
Mhm.
a path to a file. But what
Yeah.
we want is an actual
Yeah.
string, not a path to
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
file.
But not a string literal. What you said. It would be a. Maybe it is. No, you're right.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
of this as
That's what
env
env gives
returns
us.
a
Yeah.
string
A
literal.
stir. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a literal. It returns a stir.
A stir. Literal.
Yeah.
It is a literal. It
Yeah.
does
Okay.
get
So it is a literal because it's
replaced
all
with a
happening at
string.
build time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I want. I want like an include bang that's like print.
Yep.
But not this does not get interpreted as a path to a file.
Find it.
So
Find it in the ecosystem.
Rust include. I don't even know
Macro.
what to search for.
Um, verbatim. I would LLM this because it's hard to search.
Give it a shot. Okay.
Don't forget the semi.
Yep. And then how do I do the quotes correctly here?
Quotes are
Right.
fine.
They're fine? Really?
Oh, it's nested, right?
Don't I need like
Yeah,
backslashes or
yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
Mm, not string with.
Let's see how lazy I can be here.
Yeah, because it took you literally with I want to include string literal. That's code. Maybe tell it I'd like a version of include the existing include macro, but that takes a stir literal instead of a path.
Yeah. Maybe if I ask with the environment variable, that'll like force it to. Not a computed value. Right. Yep, we understand the issue. Okay.
build.
One is to create a build script to read the environment variable and generate a file.
Well, we can do that with Nix better.
Yep. Option 2, runtime evaluation. Oh boy. Parsing it at runtime? Is that what they're saying here? Use proc macros. Generate code based on, okay, I don't.
It's not. It's not very helpful. Try grok.
I mean, I don't know that this is possible. Would you ask the question differently?
Let's do a one-to-one comparison.
Okay.
I would, but it's still comparison. Designed to include the contents of a file at compile time, not for directly embedding arbitrary code from an environment. Like error occurs because end returns a string. Value of environment variable, but include expects a file path. Include is a model.
Sure. Yeah, we don't need to read the explanation again. We already understand.
JFlag contains a file path.
Yeah, this is bullshit. It's like it does not. That's what we're talking about.
Here if JFlag contains actual Rust code, contains you cannot directly because
there's
option write it
the
to a
exact
temporary
same
file.
Yeah.
Then in your Rust code,
we can do this better in Nix.
This approach. Option B, procedural macros. Right. Now the question is there another option? Because we just want that procedural macro, you know?
Runtime code execution. Embed a scripting language. Yeah. Are you going to explain for a third time why this doesn't work? Jeez. Got it already, man. Could you clarify? Yeah, it contains actual Rust code.
Tell it we want option B, but we want this. Is there a crate in the ecosystem that provides option B? Could try that with Claude as well, but I don't know that it's up to date. Claude's the only one that I've not been using.
I just use that one because a friend works there.
Mm-hmm.
Listing crates. Proc macro 2.
Did it explicitly say that there is no such trait?
I don't see it saying that. There isn't a widely known crate specifically designed to directly parse and include arbitrary Rust code from an environment variable as a procedural macro in the exact way described in option B.
Tell it does not need to be the exact way. But it could be wrong, it could be right. I don't know.
I'm totally fine with the file though. Like this seems like we have a great solution. I don't feel the need to look any harder.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Great. All right. So we know how we're gonna do this. And the other thing I like about this is like we don't have to worry about limits on sizes of environment variables. Like this can be some massive file and it'll be totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think we're just taking the well, okay, I'll rotate over to you. I have no code here. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back.
Generate the file with me.
Hello. Mhm. Yeah, and I like that. Rather than trying to make it a full-on Rust file, just make it a snippet of Rust. Try to keep as much as possible in real plain Rust code. Great. Yep. And this would be like what? PR tracker and Rust. Oh, yeah, API, sure. Don't know that environment variables can have dashes in the name, can they?
It's not an item. This cannot be here. It needs to include the entire, all of the
Oh,
entire
okay.
item.
All right. Then fine. Make it happy.
I think at this point we can remove this comment.
Do we need a semicolon at the end of the include?
Maybe. Take the top part right here.
I think we want that close config, right? Close curly as well.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Close, put it here.
Great. And now it's just complaining about the environment variable, which I would expect. Wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Okay, now we need to generate this using it, right? So let's first start by adding this environment variable.
Yeah. So
Okay.
dev shell dot
drv
env.
config.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
We have this in another, maybe in the fetcher.
Yeah, for the GraphQL.
All things. Yeah. drv config.
Beautiful.
Well, I think we're using a style here. By the way, I stopped using the style.
I don't know which style you're talking about.
That duplicates
There are no dupes there, though.
paths. Well, PR tracker API is mentioned here and then right here. No,
No.
it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know you stopped using that style, but that was a while ago.
Yeah. drv config. We still have files in this project.
Yeah, I see. This was just
And
not one of them. API config snippet.
something, right?
Yep. So I think start with just the literal thing that you got down below, and then we can massage. Oh, and this will be an opportunity to test out your editor's support for injections with TreeSitter.
Oh, that's right.
Kind of silly because it's about to become useless, but I am curious if you annotated as Rust. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Pretty cool, right?
I wonder what the Helix can do.
Well, it's the support injections. That's a tree sitter concept.
Mm-hmm.
And then NeoVim is able to understand it. But do you want to fix the indentation? I know this is very obsessive
Mm-hmm.
and is all not going to matter soon, but the
What
fields of the struct could get indented to look like they're inside of the struct.
Oh, you're right.
Now, that's the real dream. Somebody needs to build something that uses tree sitter injections to invoke formatters on the appropriate things. It would be very cool.
But that's happening already.
There's like IDE support for it, like in the LSP universe. I've
It's
talked
a
to some of my fellow.
formatter feature. Rust font formats your Rust that is side of Markdown.
Yeah. I feel like that's the problem being solved at the wrong layer. Like,
I agree.
the
It's
right
not the
thing to do.
formatter, it's the thing that calls the formatter.
Yeah. So, like, TreeFont is well positioned to do this. And I've asked Jonas and Brian how they feel about this. And they're like, that's like,
Skeptical.
TreeFMT is a very simple project right now, and this would turn it from a simple project into a, like, complicated project, and I don't blame them for that. But there is an opportunity for somebody to build a TreeFMT that does this. So it's like on my vague backlog of like, well, if nobody does it, maybe someday when I have nothing better to do, which, will likely never happen. But I'm now planting that seed with you, Shahar.
I'm
so,
honored.
TreeFMT 3 can get rewritten back into Rust or something. Mob start 7. All right. What did we just edit? Mod API config module API default.next. There we go. Look at that beautiful format. Echo API during reload. API config snippet. Look at that. Okay. Cargo test.
It needs to end up as a file, though. People skip the step.
Right. Okay, great. Packages dot right. Text file. You need packages. And we just did this, but I don't remember. It's like this, right?
A name and text.
But is it an adder set or is it positional, perhaps?
It's adders.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. Okay. Env snippet .rs text equals. It's not really an RS file.
It is.
Env struct.
I think it's enforced to be.
Oh, this is actually a Rust file?
It's a valid Rust file because it's an item. The macro requires that this be an item.
Sure.
So
And reload. So now, if I do echo $API config snippet. Okay. Yep. Looking good. Relative paths aren't going to work here. But that's fine. this is all going away soon, right? We're not going to be doing this include
Correct.
stir stuff. We have the power of Nix. We don't need to use Nix to generate Rust code that then includes other things. We can just do it all in Nix. Okay. So I am gonna inline. Well, okay. I guess at this
now
point,
we can go for the real thing.
let's talk about what we want to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we actually want is an adder set in Nix that has all this, a list of adders or something that has like environment variable name, and documentation for it or something. Like I'm just gonna start a let block. And
But I
config.
think, do you think this should be options here? Supported by options.
Like we could maybe just use our module system that we already have and pull it from there.
Module system that we already.
Like use our API. We have a NixOS module for the API. Maybe use that as the source of truth for all this?
No, not the NixOS. Definitely not the NixOS module as the source.
Okay.
New options. New options that will be flake in the flake part evaluation.
Okay. The reason to do that would be because we want typing or because we want to break this up across the repository?
Types.
Okay.
Types.
So if we
It
want
will
types,
also be available everywhere, right? It'll also make these values and options available throughout the different flake part modules.
yeah, I agree that it will. But given that we've already done such a nice job of structuring things, I don't think any of this logic should leak out of this file.
What about for documentation?
Okay, good question.
We're going to have a manual that builds, well, the manual builds the NixOS option. So later on, when we want to dynamically create NixOS options based on these options, they will be available.
Yeah. So to handle the documentation side of things, we could potentially make it so that the documentation is modularized, right? Like there could be something we add here that says like, oh, and then this one markdown file.
Mm-hmm.
We define it here rather than over in that other place.
Hey, let's start without an option. That's fine.
Yep. All right. So I don't know, a list of thingies. Maybe we don't even need a list. Like, do we care about the order? Do you think we care about the order for documentation purposes?
No. No, it's another set.
Okay. So boom, and this will be something like, I think that's it, right? It's like description. It's like description. Oh, and then types, right? We need types.
Yes.
Oh God, that's gonna suck. I guess this is just a Rust snippet rather than sharing this between Rust and Nix would be more straightforward, maybe, if this was just an option string.
what I would do in this case, because it's not I don't think it'll even work if you just do option tracing filter, because Rust, the way it works is like, yeah, you bring it kind of verbatim, like you include it kind of verbatim, but not really, because it's coming from a different context. And in that context, there is no option. There is no tracing. Or there
Well,
might be an option. There
I
is
think
no
I understand
tracing
what you're
filter.
saying, but what was
I'm
the
not saying
word
it
they
won't
used?
work entirely. Hygiene, right?
Yeah, unhygienically.
Um, if the term they use is unhygienically, then maybe this will work. But in any case, I think the correct way of doing it and safe way of doing it, and the way that explains itself better also in the Nix code, is to use absolute paths for these types.
Okay, that seems fine. Well, okay. It's a little weird. Is the path going to be super tracing filter?
No, absolute.
So
That's
what
still
would the
relative.
absolute path be?
Absolute paths start with colon colon,
Okay. And then what? Like,
and
I just
then the
don't
crate
know.
where
So
tracing
API
filter comes
underscore
from.
config.
No, the where tracing filter comes from.
It's right here.
Oh, oh, that. Then yes, it could be API config or self, I believe.
Self? You mean super?
Yeah, no, self. I think. Maybe it's not self. Maybe it's crate. Yeah, colon crate, or just if you start with crate, I believe no need for colon.
I'm gonna add it to do. And I want to see stuff work first.
Yeah, sure,
So
or not
to
work.
do, use absolute path here instead. But
Everywhere.
we're running out of time, and I'd like
Yeah,
to get, if we can, see some code compile.
of course.
So, all right. Um, there's three things here. There is docs, the environment variable name, and then the type. And for now, I propose that we represent this. So this
I
is
agree.
like name
Yeah.
equals that, description equals that, and this will be the Rust type for now, but this might evolve into something smarter in a bit, but just trying to do the dumb code generation thing. Does that?
Bring in the description from that file and delete the file.
Yeah, sure. But does where I'm going with this seem reasonable?
That's exactly what I imagined.
Okay, great.
Description MD.
Hey, that worked. Now I've got an underline. And my editor understands. Why didn't that work before? Weird. Description MD. Okay. PR tracker API port. Get back to that in a moment. This is a U16. Then PR tracker tracing filter. This is a option tracing filter. Then I'll move the to-do up there. Okay. And then tracing filter. Okay. And then port.md. Okay. Great. Now This is going to look something like derive, blah, and then we're going to inject something in here. And this is going to look like a what is it? lib.concat
Lines.
concat lines. Okay, neat. And that just takes a list of str. And then this will be map.
I would suggest that we make it a binding here, and then use expression with libpipe to make that binding.
What are the elements of structs called? Are they called adders, or what are these things called in Rust?
Fields.
They call fields? Okay. Great. Let fields equals this thing. Getting back to that in a second. It's going to look a little bit like this code. In. Okay. This is going to be.
I would use the same let in, not create a new one. Put it up there.
Works for me. All right. lib.concat lines, and then can we do this as a single line?
How about the libpipe?
Sure. Env config
This.
Okay.
This would be a parentheses map and adder set to a string.
Yeah.
Or maybe
okay. So
several strings.
env spec. Or it could just be a multi-line string, right?
Yeah.
And this will just be. Oh, well, we'll get to talk about escaping soon. Okay, but for now, with a possible escape issue, this is going to be envspec.description.
Different. A little bit different, I think.
Okay.
3 slashes. Then you don't need to escape.
Oh, cool. Like that?
And as long as a single line will break, a line feed would break this.
Yeah. It's also called description MD. Whoops. What we really want is to prefix it with // I guess, on all lines.
Yeah. But I think we don't need to even have a to-do, because all our cases are single line, and as long, if we add a line feed, it'll break. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so we could add an assertion, or do you just want to let it break in a weird way?
Just let it break.
Okay, great. That out? Okay. Not nicely formatted, but I can live with that. That looks like it might be.
What's not nicely formatted? Oh, the indentation?
Don't totally grok. So that one has initial spacing because there's 2 spaces here. So it gets 2 spaces, those 2 literal space characters.
Yeah,
and then the whole thing.
Removed.
Yeah. So like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'll still look weird, but at least look more consistently weird. Okay. Love it. Love it, love it.
Where's the blank line coming from?
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a new line at the end of this because of the way this is written? I think there is.
But there, for that to happen, there needs to be a
Yeah. So each of these has a new line at the end,
So we
and
don't
then we
need
concat
okay,
lines on them.
concat lines.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
I think it's fine.
Just leave it. Okie dokie. Coming down to the last minute here. Will it compile?
I think it compiled a long time ago. This is type checking now.
Oh, okay. Then I just want to delete those files because they're going to be harder to remember to delete in the future. So database URL is gone. Port.md is gone. Tracingfilter.md is gone. I think that's it.
Yeah, but database URL is now everything will break because we use these in more than one place. But that's fine. We can.
Yeah, like the fetcher depended on it, and I just deleted it. Okay.
Fetcher
Mob
documentation.
Next. I feel okay with where things are. This is like a good enough stopping point. It feels like a promising enough direction.
Word.
Cool.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and rate. And until rate, it's only on YouTube. So I don't think. Till next time.
YouTube.
Be well.
What is it? Just thumbs up these days? Yeah. Bye, everyone.